I'd like to touch base on a human level with you all today because the reality of life is that depression is a bloody difficult mountain to climb, one that we all unfortunately need to scale at some point in our lives, sometimes over and over again, and man, let me tell you, it gets hard getting up every day to conquer that mountain. I've been struggling with depression quite a lot this year for so many different reasons, which I won't get into because that's not the point of this video. What I'm going for here is to try and fulfill a philosophy that I hold near and dear to me, which is to try and take any sort of negatives going on in life, or just negatives in my mind, and turn them into positive, productive outlets to help take that edge off and hopefully come out of these dark times with something to show for it. Now, am I good at doing that when things are tough? No. In fact, I suck at it quite a lot. So that's why I'm hoping that talking about this openly and making this video on the topic will hopefully help to take the edge off and get me back on track. So what I'm going to do is discuss some of the games that I like to play when I'm feeling depressed and hopefully create a safe and open forum for our community to discuss their go-to depression games in the comments and in our Discord server, as a reminder for anyone out there who is currently struggling that we all know what you're going through and that it will all eventually be okay. I'm Square-Eyed Jack, and this is Depression Gaming. Alright, so I'm going to talk about 3 different genres of gaming that I find help me out when I'm feeling blue or in the trenches with some bad shit. Now, disclaimer, your results may vary, everyone is different, that's what I love about human beings. But I'm confident that at least one of these will hopefully relate to the majority of you watching this video. The first and most obvious solution is comfort games. You know that feeling when you eat your favourite food, rewatch your favourite movies or shows, and that warm nostalgia you get revisiting the games from your youth? These are comfort games. Depending what you grew up with, then this is literally a free spot on your depression bingo card. In my case, growing up with charming platformer mascots of the 90s and 2000s, exploring whimsical fantasy worlds and allowing myself to be fully indulged beyond the limitations of reality. With all the bouncy cartoonish animations and the levels that are still intriguing, even if I do know where every secret and hidden treasure is, hopefully also a soundtrack to go along with it that gets stuck in your head for the rest of the day to help block out some of that noise rattling around inside of your head. These types of games can be really positive for the brain, as when you're feeling down and worthless, well, I'd recommend staying away from things like Dark Souls or anything gravely challenging. Well, unless that's your idea of a comfort game, in which case, go ahead, you outright lunatic. But you know what I'm saying here. It's important to take the pressure off with something safe and familiar as you try to wind down, even just for a moment. Man, I can play through Crash and Spyro blindfolded if I wanted to, but that's okay because there is no pressure, and if it can take you back to those positive childhood memories, then that's even better. On that note though, this is also a good opportunity to experience some new things as well, by exploring titles adjacent to your typical comfort games and create new experiences and memories. If you like the collectathon platformers, well, there are plenty of newer franchises to explore from the people who grew up playing the same classics as you. It might feel new, but there is always that underlying comfort knowing what to expect from these sorts of games, and with the added bonus of feeling rewarded by finding your way through something new. My partner and I recently played through Clive and Wrench, and that's the perfect example of a game which, despite many of its minor shortcomings, took us both back to that safe and familiar territory of warm, comfort gaming to soothe the soul. So if you're ever feeling down, then don't be ashamed to lean on old friends to pick you back up again, because if there is a true connection there, then your heart will beat strong every time. If you're creatively inclined, even in the slightest, then this second type of depression gaming will probably be all too familiar. Creation. One of the biggest struggles of suffering from poor mental health is having that initiation to get up and feel productive, and when you can't achieve that, it can grow into a devastating spiral. I've always leaned into YouTube and creating content as my outlet during these sorts of times. It's weird, I seem to be at my most productive when life is hell. I don't know what that's about. I'm sure other creative people can relate to that. The problem with this is that it often leads to really severe burnout and means I don't want to make anything. And especially if, I pour my heart into something and it doesn't get the recognition that I hoped it would, well, that can make me even worse. Which is not a healthy mindset at all, but sometimes you just can't help these things. Which is why when I'm depressed, I usually lean into any sort of creative games, city builders, character creation, level design, anything to keep that part of my brain alive. Anything that remotely lets you create characters or levels, construct worlds, or to tell my own stories, I dig that shit when life is in the shitter. Games like The Sims or City Builders, tycoon games that have a level of management while also functioning as a highly addictive creative outlet. Maybe you like Minecraft or even Dreams, which allows you to create whatever your heart desires, or even work with others to build something together. It doesn't even need to be that deep or substantial. Sometimes I find myself going back to games like Skate and just finding cool little areas to experiment in, try out some different moves and make some short clips. Photo mode is another great example. Literally any creative outlet that you can find can help encourage your brain to want to focus on something which may lead to an end product that you can be proud of. Was it productive in the grand scheme of your life? Possibly not. But it can definitely be a smart and healthy outlet for your brain when everything else seems far too cumbersome. For example, when I was 16 and struggling each day to get up and go to school, I'd spend all of my time thinking about what characters I was going to make in my wrestling games when I got home. I've got a few WrestleBoy OCs who've stood the test of time to this day, and you never know what might come out of indulging your creative brain during these times. Sharing what you've made for people to see, making friends who also share their stuff, you may even find yourself a new full-blown hobby or skill set at your disposal. I'd often draw plans on the side of my schoolwork for the houses I wanted to make in The Sims when I got home that night, and it was those houses which I built in The Sims which I sent in to apply for an extra credit course off campus to study architecture, which I was accepted, all because I made some neat stuff in The Sims. It's old news these days that gaming is more than just a silly nerd hobby and can actually provide futures for people, but you never really know how these skills can manifest into opportunities. Now, I cannot stress enough the importance of taking it easy on yourself when you're struggling. It's very easy to fall into a guilt trap and feel like you're wasting your time not focusing on the difficult tasks at hand, but at the end of the day, we get to choose what's important to us in life, and if building that Minecraft castle is the thing you're passionate about when things seem bleak, then all that hard work will be worth it when you look back on it and say, man, I did all of that despite the hell I was going through. What an absolute legend. Alright, I think I've saved the best for last. Along with depression can come a range of other emotions, such as anxiety, anger, and frustration, or even spite. Believe it or not, but I'm prone to mild anger issues. Fuck this game! Ah! For real, 100%, I actually used to be like that in real life. No hyperbole. I had a real serious issue. I'm glad that I've mellowed out a bit now. If you couldn't tell, I'm a lot more chill these days and relaxed, but I do still have my moments when I just get so tense and I need a way to let it out. And so, I mean, a lot of people go to the gym or make other sort of proactive lifestyle changes when they're feeling that way, but in my case, I crave chaos. It's kind of fucked up how the human brain works, but there is a sick pleasure to be found in the suffering of others, right? It's not just me. The Germans coined the term Schadenfreude, and let me tell you, when I feel like the worst person on earth, something about removing pool ladders in The Sims, knocking down all those cities I built, and just being a fucking bastard is the only answer. Possible red flag? I can't deny that, but you know what I'm getting at here, right? If you're feeling depressed, then you're just popping in something such as GTA or Just Cause and creating anarchy, as it can be the best outlet for when you're feeling down. It's just dumb, stupid, brain-rotting fun, but sometimes that's what you really need. Seeing innocent civilians ragdoll from an elbow drop out of the sky, the glorious satisfaction you get from seeing all those crumbly pixels cascade to the sound of some rocking music. Boom! Yeah! Oh, damn, get wrecked, peasant. This'll teach you what happens when you don't watch the video I worked really hard on. Now look, I don't know how healthy this is, because I'm not a registered psychologist, but I may be a registered psycho after talking so candidly about this in such a public forum. Look, regardless of that, the power of stress release through video games can be a godsend, let me tell you. I've got a few good chaotic and destructive games to list off here, along with the likes of Just Cause. We've also got Red Faction and Crackdown. If you like scripted chaos, then there's Split Second or Motorstorm Apocalypse if you're into racing games. Or if you really want to go into God mode, then why not set loose some natural disasters on that city you built in the previous step? A fun retro game full of chaos that you can try out is Blast Corps on N64. It's a Rareware game, a common one that you often don't hear too much about. You're basically a wrecking crew clearing the path for a weapon of mass destruction, and let me tell you, mass destruction is the name of the game. Oh, how rad is that? Even just going blitz on a room full of zombies can really take the edge off after a tough day, and reminding yourself that, hey, I might be going through some shit right now and things feel hopeless, but it could be worse. At least I'm not him. At the end of the day, depression is just one of those things that you've got to respect, and respect yourself at the same time. No matter the outlet you choose to express yourself or level your mindset, it's important to remember that there are always people around you who love you and want to support you. Even if they're friends on the other side of the world, let them know that you're struggling and what they can do to help, even if it's just to sit and listen or take your mind off of things by playing a stupid video game. And I mean hell, if there is a fourth genre of depression games, then it would definitely be getting online with friends and playing something dumb and mind-numbing like Jackbox or Fortnite. Anything that requires less than 10% of your brain power to enjoy, the better. And you know what? Playing these games with the people in life who build you up can often create some of the most uplifting gaming experiences you'll ever find. So, I hope that despite the topic that this video has at the very least cheered you up a little bit, or maybe gotten you in the mood to play something and feel proactive for the rest of the day. I know it can be tough, that's why I care so passionately about being open about mental health on my various platforms, and yeah, I just want to end off by saying thanks to all of you for supporting me over the years through some difficult shit that I've been through, and helping me to find some purpose through all of it. Alright, well now I'm going to go and try my best to keep bringing you all the quality content that you've come to expect from this channel, so until next time, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and if you know anyone who might be out there struggling, then you should definitely reach out to them. I'm Square Eye Jack, and I hope you have a great fucking day. Thanks for watching.